Good now, Jim. Well, we gave it our best shot. We had to sell out. Can't grow no crops without no water. Bye now.
Johnny Depp stars as a lost chameleon on a quest to find his destiny in the desert in his new animated western, Rango.
Hi, I'm Abigail Breslin. You're watching Made in Hollywood, and here's a new scene from my movie.
Did you see that?
I got a kick out of watching this movie, not only because the animation is beautiful to look at, but the very, and I don't want to get too philosophical, but the story of Rango. How much do you, at this point in your life, still identify with this guy trying to find himself?
Oh, 100%. I identify with Rango.
Who exactly are you?
Name's Rango.
But I think most people will. I mean, in the sense that, you know, we're all kind of chameleonic in nature, that we find ourselves in these situations where we have to adapt to the situation. We have to adapt to certain personalities. We have to find our way, our sort of comfort zone in otherwise somewhat unnatural situations.
What is this? That there's Rango. He ain't afraid of none of you.
Is that right?
I identified 100%.
Oh. Take care of that for you. All better.
There was a lot of debate about what animal your character was, so we want to know, are you a mouse, a possum, what?
It is called an aye, but it's really a mouse.
It's a mouse.
It's a mouse.
I was right.
There you go.
Everyone out there said possum. I said
High
no, I think
five.
it was a mouse. Good.
There you go.
There we go.
You're funny looking.
Well, you're funny looking too.
I hope you take this as the compliment that it is, that I'm meaning it to be. I knew you were in this movie, but it took me forever to really believe that your voice was the voice of Beans.
Oh, thank you. That's the greatest compliment you could have given me.
What's your name?
Beans. I had a dialect coach on this movie, but also I listened just constantly to a recording I made of Holly Hunter doing Racing Arizona. What can I say? My daddy plumb loved baked beans.
We actually filmed it like a play, so we were all together and sort of got to play off of each other, which was great.
We call this improvisation.
So you filmed like a live action play then?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, and then
whose
they took
idea
our
was that?
emotions and added them to the animation. I think it was Gore's.
Action!
At first I was a little self-conscious because normally when you're in a soundproof booth, you're just by yourself playing around with your own, voice. And then suddenly you're opposite, Johnny Depp or Bill Nye and Abigail Breslin. And, I'm aware of the fact that I'm pulling all these silly faces and doing all this stuff, to make the voice interesting. And, you're not thinking about your face.
People have to believe in something. Pick it up.
Talking to Abigail and Isla, they had such fun with you shooting in that live play-like environment. It's such a different way to shoot an animated movie. I imagine that's freeing to be able to interact.
It definitely was, but I mean, it was also extremely ludicrous. I mean, it was a kind of a ridiculous situation to be in.
How so?
Well, it was like Gore Verbinski's preschool.
Okay, plan B. What?
Oh, I was so intimidated because all my stuff was with him. And I just thought, oh my goodness, I'm such a huge fan since 21 Jump Street days, but he was so warm and nice and funny that I just relaxed.
What's wrong with that?
I'm joking.
The whole point was it was fun, strange at first, but fun, and ultimately what Gore chose in terms of the process to capture our emotions as opposed to just capturing motion or capturing a voice worked very well, and I think it's visible and upped the stakes for the animators quite a lot, so it worked out really well.
Could anyone else have played this role, or it was always him in your mind?
It was sort of, from the outset, in 2003.
Please don't do that. I'm trying to think.
It was always sort of designed as a vehicle from the ground up for what he does.
We got a problem.
This is my town.
When you're watching the movie, after it's all said and done, do you sit there and allow yourself to laugh at the character that
Yes,
you voiced?
yes, definitely. You know, I think that I was cracking up.
So you want something to believe in?
Weirdly enough, or maybe it's because I'm playing a lizard and it's not me, I was able to sit down and my experience of having shot it did not even come into my head for a second. I just really relaxed and enjoyed the movie and loved the movie, and I was transported. It was as if I hadn't even worked on the film.
Believe in that there sign.
Fun movie. What was your #1 goal for this particular story going into it?
Just to explore this character, Rango, to explore this identity question. Who doesn't want to be loved? Who doesn't want to blend in? And to sort of splice that into the Western genre.
I just think he did such a brilliant job. The critters are so unusual and they're not so poppy and bright like regular animation. They're so edgy and it's just great.
Whatever you do not look down.
Whoa! Once you figure out that you're going to take on this project, do you dial him up and say, okay, I got this role for you? What is the conversation like? Do you have to convince him, or does he say yes right
It's
away?
usually about 2.5 bottles of wine.
Is it really?
To a long dinner, and a bit of artwork shoved across the table. And to me, there's a lot of lizard in Jack Sparrow too. We constantly refer to the way he runs as the sort of the lizard on ice. And it wasn't really a phone call. It's kind of you're working with somebody day in and day out. It's lunch conversation.
Sign says sheriff. You can believe that there's law and order in this town.
The theme of this movie is Rango trying to find who he is. Who, in your words, is Johnny Depp besides Johnny Depp, the actor?
I think the most surprising thing about Johnny Depp, to me, probably everybody maybe has said this, but I just think he's super funny. He could be a comedian.
He was just a really nice guy, you know, he wasn't, you know, like, hey, I'm Johnny Depp, I'm really like, big, popular. No,
He wasn't like an actor.
No, he was just like a really like nice guy, so it was a lot of fun.
I want to give you fellas one last chance to reconsider.
Make your move.
What do you know now at this stage in your career that you really wish you would have known right when you started?
You know, there's an interesting thing that happens. You know, when you start out and you're working and you're doing your best, and you're really, you know, you're stressing yourself beyond recognition because you know you want the work to be good and the work to be good and the work to be good and all that, or better and better and better. And the thing is, you reach a certain point, and I don't know when it happens exactly, but you reach a certain point when you care so much that you're free to not care anymore, if that makes any sense. And the second that happened, all these other avenues opened up, and all these other possibilities opened up, and there was no longer any, you know, fear of failure. In fact, you know, you kind of welcomed the idea of failure. You welcomed the idea of falling flat on your face, or making an ass of yourself, because that means you were pushing a little harder, you know, trying something a little bit different.
Made in Hollywood.